Radheshyamdasya jnananjana-shalakaya chakshudunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudhapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavascha Shri Rupam Sagratam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vedasharine Vancha Kalpatarudesha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Bharanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. To take this opportunity to very, very gratefully, with hearts full of gratitude, welcome His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu to ISKCON of Richmond for the first time. Hare Prabhuji definitely doesn't require any introduction, but he just still wants to say that it's like a dream came true. We've been desiring for this day, and finally by Krishna's grace, we have His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu here with us. His deep devotion, purity, and service to Srila Prabhupada is attracting the souls all over the world, and we are one of them. So we are very, very grateful that we have Prabhuji here. We also would like to welcome our dear Gopal Pran Prabhu for the first time to ISKCON of Richmond. Let's welcome him by loudly chanting. And we also have Vaishnav Sharan Prabhu traveling for the first time to US, accompanying Prabhuji, serving Prabhuji. So let's welcome Vaishnav Sharan Prabhu also by loudly chanting. So without any further ado, over to Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Apane Acharya Grahana Kare Prachara. Apane Acharya Grahana Kare Prachara. Prachara Kare na Grahana Kare na Acharya. Prachara Kare na Grahana Kare na. Some behave very well, but do not reach the cult of Krishna consciousness. But do not behave. Achara prachara name karadoi karya. Achara prachara name karadoi karya. Tumi sarva guru tumi jagat tera arya. Tumi sarva guru tumi jagat tera arya. This is Sanatana Goswami speaking to Haridas Thakur. Oh Haridas Thakur, you simultaneously perform both duties in relation to the holy name by your personal behavior and by your preaching. Therefore, you are the spiritual master of the entire world, for you are the most advanced devotee in the world. So I'm very happy to be here at Richmond with Divyana Prabhu and his family and all the wonderful devotees here. So I met many devotees from here at Baltimore last visit to US, and simply by hearing about the sincerity and conviction and Krishna consciousness, I was very inspired to visit this time. And I got to know more this time, meeting many devotees, book distributors, preachers, and all the other committed devotees from morning to day. So I see this as a blossoming community. It's eventually going to blossom like a full-blown lotus. And I see many good signs right in the beginning. Well begun is half done, it is said. So devotees have really very high Vaishnava attitudes here, and I am sure that due to this very good foundation, the future of this project is very bright. You can see such a big piece of land. It's about 20 acres probably?
Yes.
20 acres Krishna has gifted all of you. Seeing your devotional service, Lord is very pleased with you. So in this way you will see that Lord takes interest in the devotees, and at one point of time he agrees to descend in the community and then take service from the devotees also, happily. And Lord manifesting more and more happens as devotees render more and more devotional service very sincerely. Here everybody is enthusiastic. Prabhujis are enthusiastic, Matajis are enthusiastic, children are enthusiastic, everybody. Very nice. Srila Prabhupada also, when he came to America in New York and San Francisco, he began in a small way, but eventually it grew into a very big movement, eventually. So, if you all persist in your devotion service in the same manner as you are doing now, it's only a matter of time, your community will double, triple and become multiplied. So, manyfold. So, today we are reading from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sanatana Goswami speaking to Haridas Thakur. In essence, what is he saying? Prabhupada explains in the purport. Sanatana Goswami clearly defines herein the bona fide spiritual master of the world. The qualifications expressed in this connection are that one must act according to the scriptural injunctions and at the same time preach. First we should practice and then we should preach. For example, those who are in the role of a preacher, they will be observed by the other people. How they speak, how they live their lifestyle, how they do their morning program, sadhana, how they conduct themselves. That will be seen. I'll show you one verse in the Bhagavatam. It says how we should not behave. One can repeat. Avisandaya yohimsam Dambam matsaryameva va Nibhinna bhavam Mani kuryat tamasaha. Devotional service is executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent and angry, and who is a separatist. He is considered to be in the mode of darkness. So the purport, Prabhupada is saying, in pure devotional service, the only motive should be to please the Supreme Lord. That is not actually a motive, that's a pure condition of the living entity. But in the conditioned stage, when one engages in devotional service, he should follow the instructions of the Guru in full surrender. And then he says here, to act under the direction of a bona fide Guru with a motive to satisfy the Supreme Lord is pure devotional service. But one who has a motive for personal sense gratification, then his devotional service is manifested differently, he says. Such a man may be violent, proud, envious and angry, and his interests are separate from the Lord's interest, he says. And then here he says here, one who approaches the Supreme Lord to render devotional service, but who is proud of his personality, envious of others, or vengeful, is in the mode of anger. He thinks he is the best devotee. Devotion service executed in this way is not pure. It is mixed and is of the lowest grade. Tamasaha. Srila Vishwanath Thakur advises that a Vaishnava who is not of good character should be avoided, he says. So, there was one Danavir Prabhu who joined in Prabhupada's time as a full-time devotee. First day he became a brahmachari in the temple. The temple president Keshav Prabhu was in LA. He told him that I would like you to serve under Ekendra Prabhu. So go and meet him. He will teach you how to wash the cars and maintain the vehicle well. And then you can also go with the Sankirtan van for book distribution. So he went to the vehicle area and asked, who is Ekendra Prabhu? And Ekendra Prabhu was a small kid who was only 8 years old. Is there anybody 8 years old? How old is that child here? How old?
Your age.
10. Stand up. Yeah. So Ekendra Prabhu was little shorter than him. So, can you imagine anything? This was a devotee child, devotee intelligent, very smart. And he was taking care of 6 to 8 vehicles, can you imagine? So, when he went and met he asked the small kid, do you know where is the vehicle head? Ekendra Prabhu said. He said, it's me, come here. He said. And then this Keshav Prabhu, and then this Janavir Prabhu was thinking, I have to serve under him. Such a small kid, he thought. But his boy was a very intelligent boy. He said, see, take the hose pipe. This is the way you throw the water jet. You wash the car like this. And then you do this, do that, he was telling. So, on the very first day itself, he was feeling a little uneasy. I am grown up and he is a small kid. The president is telling me to work under him. And then he was told to bring the boxes. So he lifted the Sankirtan boxes and put it in the van. Bring 2 more for it. Keep this there. Bring that here, he said. Immediately in his mind he felt, am I a servant? That he is ordering like this. So he asked one brahmachari, when he is telling me to lift the boxes and put it in the van, I feel uneasy, And my mind is asking, am I his servant? So the other brahmachari said, you are not a servant, you are servant of servant. Our philosophy teaches us, who are we? Dasan das. And we are not Basana Bas. Isn't it? So in material world, everybody wants to become Basana Bas, isn't it? But in the spiritual world, everybody wants to become So then he understood, it's like that. He said, if you feel you are servant of Krishna's devotees, you can be the happiest devotee in the temple. If you think you want to be boss of anybody, nobody will allow you to be their boss. Then there will be a lot of fight between devotees because of that. So he understood that humility is very important when you come into the world of devotee association. Because devotional world is different world and material world is different. In the material world there is a cutthroat competition. In the devotee world, devotees are actually eager to put others first and themselves next. In South India, in Tirupati, there is a very famous pastime that happened about Anantacharya. So, when Anantacharya was sent by Sripad Ramanujacharya to meet one great saint, Vaishnava saint, and ask him, who is a Vaishnava? So the Vaishnava said 4 things he said, who a Vaishnava is. Of course, he spoke in Tamil, and then he explained in easy language. He said, Kokkai polirpan, Koye polirpan, Oppai polirpan, Unnai polirpan. 4 things he said. First thing he said, a Vaishnava is like a crane, he said. Why? A crane will stand in one place like this and allow all the small fishes to pass. When a big fish comes, it will catch it. Similarly, a Vaishnava in this world does not become attracted by petty things of this world. But when a Vaishnava gets opportunity to become Krishna's devotee, which is the greatest gift, that he will capture. So, and he is not attracted to becoming a karmi, jnani, yogi or anything. The Vaishnava always takes Sangha of Vaishnava seriously, captures that he takes it to the heart. Secondly, he said, Kodi polar pancha. Kodi means what? Cock. You all know cock? A cock, a cock or a hen. Have you seen a small hen which is sometimes yellow color or pink color? You seen that? That makes sound. And then it will separate the rice and the stone particles. It will eat the rice and stone it will throw. It knows how to sort out. Similarly, Vaishnava is one while living in this world. Vaishnava knows what to pick, what to drop, what to accept, what to reject. What will uplift me in spiritual life, what will degrade me. So they clearly know it. Because they study the Shastras. So therefore they know how not to become proud and always be humble. How not to boast about oneself, but always praise other Vaishnavas. They know it. So he is like a cock, he said. Thirdly, he said, a Vaishnava is like a salt, he said. Why? A salt is very important in sabji when you cook. But one day if salt is less, people will scold whom? No, they will scold the salt only. They will say, why salt is not there? Correct or not? How many of you have shouted like that? Why salt is not there? Correct or not? Yeah. And in case one day exact amount of salt is there in sabji, what will people appreciate?
Cook is very good.
No, they'll appreciate the sabji. They will say, oh, the sabji is very tasty. Will they appreciate the salt?
No.
Will they appreciate the salt or will they appreciate the sabji?
Sabji.
That means if salt is appropriate, who gets appreciation?
Sabji.
And if salt is less, who gets a scolding?
Salt.
Yeah. That's it. That means when the salt is serving the purpose, he doesn't get credits. When a person puts less salt, then salt gets a scolding. So, a salt always remains in the background and does not want to promote oneself in the front. The salt is very humble. You all know Bahulashva and Shuddhadeva. How many of you have heard this pastime? Of Shuddhadeva and Bahulashva. These two are great personalities in Mithilapuri. They both went to invite Krishna to come to their places. Bahulashva was king of Mithila and Shuddhadeva was a poor Brahman. So they both went to Krishna, but then the Brahman thought, king is very respectable. So let him go in front of Krishna and talk to him first. After he comes, then I will meet him. So that was his humility. But both were pure devotees. Completely pure devotees. So Bahulashva went and invited Krishna, please come to my palace. And Shuddhadeva also went afterwards and said to Krishna, please come to my hut. So which invitation Krishna accepted? Anybody knows? He accepted both. He went to both the places he went. So the point is, why Shuddhadeva was staying behind hesitantly? Because the Vaishnava always thinks others are better than me. He thought, oh, king is very great personality, he is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. I am not so great, so he remained behind like that. That's the way. And where do the devotees learn such humility and non-assuming nature? Where they learn from? They learn from the Lord only. How many of you know Jarasandha was killed by Bhima? How many of you know that? You heard about it in Mahabharata? Yes. So when Jarasandha was killed, anybody knows how Jarasandha was supposed to be killed? Bhima put his one foot on Jarasandha's foot and tore his body. You know that? Like this. And when the body became like this, again it got joined again. Because Sandha, so his body would get joined again. Again he would kill him, again it would join. That repeatedly happened several times. And then Bhima was getting tired. Several days, 28 days or so the war was going on. And there was no clue Bhima had how to kill Jarasandha. And then who gave him the clue? Who knows? So Krishna gave the clue to Arjun and Arjun gave the clue to Bhima. And then he told, when you tear the body, you put it like this. So that don't put it symmetrically. Then it cannot connect. And then once he did that, Jarasandha was finished. Now they were returning back to the palace. Yudhishthira Maharaj was waiting outside the palace. And when Krishna, Bhima, Arjuna, they were all in the chariot going together. And Krishna told Bhima, get down, go and meet your brother, he is waiting there. So Bhima went ahead. And Yudhishthira asked, so Bhima, what happened to Jarasandha? Bhima said, finished, he said. And immediately Yudhishthira embraced him and patted him and said, Bhima, anybody caught by you can never escape. Huh? You are the smartest warrior I have seen. And then Bhima said, oh, Bhaiya, I didn't go alone. Along with me, who came? Arjuna also came. So Krishna told Arjuna, you go right now. So Arjuna went in the front and Yudhishthira appreciated Arjuna also. Lastly, Krishna got off from his chariot. And Krishna did not expect anything. Now here is a very amazing thing. Any of you imagine you were in Krishna's position. What you would have told? You would have told Yudhishthira, better ask Bhima, who gave him the idea? But Krishna didn't say anything. That means the Lord doesn't want to take any credit. It's unassuming. Therefore, those devotees who are pure devotees of the Lord, they are also like that. They remain like a salt behind. I got a pastime in Vrindavan. One day the sun became very hot. You may wonder why should the sun become hot in Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a very beautiful place. Lord is residing, you may think. But the sun becomes hot to give seva to everybody. Seva opportunity. So when the sun became hot, the wind started slowly moving. We thought that Krishna and Balram and covered boys are on the top of Govardhan hill. Let me go and give them some soothing experience. So the wind started blowing. And the Yamuna saw the wind and asked her, hey dear wind, I think you may be probably going to give some nice experience to Krishna. Is that true? He said, yes. How did you know that? He said, okay, can you take some droplets of water from me? So then he picked up some droplets of water. Just like you all might have experienced the water cooler right now. If air mixed with water comes, it's very soothing experience. Then when he went ahead, there were beautiful fragrant flowers in the garden. They asked the wind, are you going to Krishna? He said, yes. Please take some of our fragrant pollen. So they picked up some pollen also. Then when he went to the top of the Govardhan hill and went round and round and round around Krishna and the covered boys, and Krishna took a deep breath and he told the covered boys, how pleasant it is, isn't it? How wonderful the wind is today. And all of them agreed, yes, it's true. Now Krishna appreciated whom? And Yamuna and the flowers didn't argue. What about us? Our name got missed out. Why is the wind pleasant? Because we gave the fragrance. Yeah?
Because he's the one who's doing all the delivering.
Who is doing?
The wind.
The wind. Of course, the wind is a vehicle for the fragrance and vehicle for the water. At the same time, the others may or may not be getting their name in the list. But in Vrindavan they are unassuming. Their goal is Tat Sukhi Sukhitvam, getting joy in Krishna's happiness. That is their nature of Jivas in Vrindavan. And the cloud was in the extreme corners of the sky. And the cloud was cursing himself. He said, look at me, I am lazily sleeping in the corner. Whereas all the Vrindavan Vasis are all very happily spirited to render seva. So let me also go. Immediately the cloud started migrating and they came above Krishna's head like a big, large umbrella. And they gave shade to Krishna. Above the clouds was the sun and below the cloud was a shade. So sun was ready to take the heat of the sun but give shade to Krishna. This is the meaning of devotee. Devotee means opulence for Krishna, poverty for oneself. Or opulence for Krishna, sacrificing oneself. So he was accepting the heat, but he was giving the shade. And he thought, how best I can serve even more better. Then another idea came to him. He started drizzling also. How many of you like drizzling? Correct, no? So when we were small kids like them, when it would be drizzling in the sky, we would go and dance outside. Mom would say, hey, come in, you will get sick, you will be sneezing all day. We would tell her, we are coming, we will never come inside. Just keep jumping up and down in the drizzling water. Because drizzling doesn't totally drench you. It's a very pleasant experience. So, the clouds were giving a drizzling experience to Krishna and covered boys and everybody. And clouds were very happy. I could get some opportunity to serve Krishna, you see. And not only that, when Krishna played on the flute, the cloud thought, I was so far away when he was not rendering service. When I came near, now I am waiting to hear the flute sound also. He was very joyful by that. So, you will see that a Vaishnava is like a salt, it is said, because a salt always hides behind. When you cook a sabji with salt, which is visible? Sabji is visible or salt is visible?
Sabji.
But the salt is important. How many of you will not like a sabji if there is no salt? Correct, no? Yeah. It's a very important personality, but he hides behind an under service. So, a devotee always is unassuming. A devotee considers others to be better than oneself. So the last one was, Unne pol irpan, he said. The Vaishnava is like you, he said. Why? When Anandacharya went there, he actually asked a question to the Acharya. But the Acharya said, I will answer your question later. Today a lot of Vaishnavas have come, you have to serve prasadam to them. So he put them all in one pankti and served them. After that, the whole hall had to be washed. And you put on the fan and you dry the hall, isn't it? After that, Acharya told him, now put one more. The second round of people came inside. So 5 rounds of panktis were served. It took almost an hour and a half. After everybody was done, then the Guruji asked another Acharya, what about you? He said, now I will take prasad, he said. Lastly, he was taking. Then he told him, Vaishnava means like you. Because he is eager to serve and less eager to receive service. He is more eager to serve and not very eager to accept service from others. So, when Nimai Pandit was living in Nadia, who is Nimai Pandit? You all know? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yeah, when he was a young boy. So he used to go to the bank of Ganga. Do you know that? He would see that Vaishnavas have dried their clothes. He would fold it. And then when they would take bath and come out, he would give them, please take the clothes. And they would feel very shy. Nimai, why did you fold the clothes and give us? We will fold it ourselves, they would say. And then one Vaishnava would come out of the water, Nimai would take one kusha grass mat and give it. You want to do Gayatri? Please sit in this mat. They would say, oh no, I will take the mat myself. Don't offer me this service, they would say. And some Vaishnava would put on the dress, Nimai Pandit would go and give them the tilak. Please take the tilak. And they would accept the tilak, thank him. Some old Vaishnava would be in the Ganga, not able to get out of the Ganga because some people are very old, isn't it? 70 or something. So Nimai Pandit would go and lend his hand between their hands and he would lift their shoulder and help them come out. So all these Vaishnavas, seeing the service attitude of Nimai, they touched his head and said, Krishna Matirastu. May you become Krishna conscious. Little did they know he is himself Krishna only. So, but what does Nimai teach us? We should be eager to serve. When we render service, you win the blessings of Vaishnavas. On the other hand, there are other people who want to show off that I have done a great service, I am a great teacher. That type of proud disposition is never pleasing to Krishna. So we learn from Salt, we learn from Nimai and all these things. That's why he's saying here, one who approaches Supreme Lord to render devotion service, but who is proud of his personality, envious of others, or vengeful, he is in the mode of anger, he says. There was one very great Bhagavatam preacher, his name is Romaharshnasudha. Adantasya avinītasya natasyeva. It is said in the Bhagavatam one, there's one verse it says this. Vishaya Bhagavato Bhutva Bodhitya Bahuni Cha Sivasa Puranani Dharma Shastrani Sarvasaha Tasya Avinītasya Pandita Maninaha Nāya Bhavanti Sma Although Romaharshnasudha is a disciple of the divine sage Vyasa and has thoroughly learned many scriptures from him, including the law books of religious duties and the epic histories and Puranas, all this study has not produced the good qualities in him. Rather, the study of the scriptures is like an actor studying his part, for he is not self-controlled or humble and vainly presumes himself a scholarly authority, though he has failed to conquer his own mind. So, there are two parts to this translation. One is the high qualifications of Roma Krishna Sutta are mentioned here. He's a disciple of Vedavyas, studied all the scriptures, he has studied Itihasas and Puranas. Although he is very, very highly learned, that is one part. Second part says that he was adantase, he was not self-controlled. He was avinitase, he was not humble. He was very proud. You see, one preacher wanted to start a DOS course in Pune, one of the he was actually working in a company and he's a qualified engineer. So he started his own program. So in the very first class, of course he was in pant shirt, tugging, neatly dressed. So about 40 to 50 people came and sat in first program. So at the beginning he had made an announcement that nobody should keep the mobile, this thing, and all of you guys switch on the mobile, he had mentioned it. But as he began speaking, in 10 minutes later, some 2-3 mobiles started ringing. Sounds came. So he got irritated. He was writing something on the board. Suddenly he turned around and lost his temper. And he said, he sort of yelled, anybody who's making the sound of mobile, get out of the room, he said. Then immediately 30 people got up and walked out. Then he ran behind them and said, no, I didn't tell all of you. Only one who made the sound of the mobile, I told them. They said the vibes are not good here. You see, the mood is not good. We come for Shanti here, and here there's Ashanti. They spoke to those who are making the sound of mobile. They feel nice, they are going away, they went away. So the very first program, he lost 30 people. Simply because of bad behavior. So we can be, actually we have to respect the audience. They have taken our time and come, be grateful. So if you want to know how to deal with your audience, we can learn from Nityananda Prabhu. We'll sing a song. Paramananda Nityananda qualification of preacher is akrodha. Unnecessarily we should not get angry. We should restrain the anger. One example is given by Rishabhadev in his teachings to his 100 sons. He is telling that a guru or a shiksha guru or a preacher, while preaching to the people, the subordinates will always be falling short in their expectations. But we have to sympathetically uplift them like a mother uplifts a child. Imagine a child is walking, toddler child. Mother gives the fingers to walk, right? Just now the child has started slowly getting up, touching the wall and walking. You can't expect the child to go to market and drink something. He's a small child. So we should look at them sympathetically and give fingers to walk, make the child walk. Slowly you will take out the hand and child will walk on its own. And then he says, Rishbhdev says, but if a preacher becomes angry and mistreats the people whom he is preaching to, it's like pushing a blind man into a well, like that he gives example. Because already they are submerged in illusion, we should not make the life more difficult for them. So Nityananda Prabhu was very polite in preaching. He was free from anger. Paramananda always was blissfully situated. Abhimana Shunya. He was free from false prestige. There was no false ego in him. We should never think, I am a great preacher, I am an accomplished preacher, I am an enlightened one, or I am a gift to the world. One should not think like that. Rather, one should think, I have no compassion, but Prabhupada has compassion. But I am becoming an instrument in Prabhupada's hands. And then if Prabhupada wants, if Prabhupada and his disciples can use us. And it's true that we all were already rotating in the cycle of birth and death. Somehow or other we are given the mastery, we got the holy name, we got the holy books. We are just taking and repeating. So, and then he says, Adama Patita Jiva, he would go to the door of the fallen people, like drunkards sometimes, and smokers and drunkards and addicts and all kinds of people, and would bat at the door. And they would open the door and would fold the palms and beg them. What you would say? What Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him to tell. What did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him? That is another prayer which comes. Shuno, Shuno, Nityananda, Shuno, Haridas. Oh! Shuno, Shuno, Nityananda, Shuno, Haridas. Haridas and Nityananda come here. Like that one day Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called them. And then he said, Sarvatra Amaragya Karaha Prachar. Go everywhere and fulfill my order. What is that order? Prati Gare Gareya. Go to every house, door to door. Our movement is called as door to door movement. What movement?
Door to door movement.
Go door to door in Richmond. Don't spare anybody. Go to everybody's house and back to the door. And when you open the door, what you tell them? Three things you should tell them. All of you repeat this. Bolo Krishna.
Bolo Krishna.
Bhajo Krishna.
Bhajo Krishna.
Karo Krishna.
Karo Krishna.
Shiksha. Which means tell them, chant Hare Krishna, worship the deity of Krishna, and study Gita and Bhagavatam and teach it. These are the three instructions. So by chanting Hare Krishna, mind will become cleansed. By studying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, your intelligence will get viveka buddhi and discrimination power. And by worshipping Krishna, your devotion will awaken. So these are the three things you should teach. You all will remember this? Bolo Krishna, Krishna. And that is what he did in this song. It says, Adama Patita Jive, Dware Dware Kiya. He went door to door. And then Harinama Mahamantra, they chanted, which means he gave them all Mahamantra to chant. He requested them, here is Hare Krishna Mahamantra, please chant. Now some people, what they would do, as soon as they hear this, they would say, sorry, we don't have time. We agree, what you're saying is very correct. After we get old, we will do it. When we are 80 or 90, we will do it. Not now, they will say. But what Nityananda would do, he would immediately offer them obeisances. at their feet and beg them, please chant the holy name. And some of them seeing him doing namaskar, they would think that, oh, he is giving so much respect to us. Okay, we will chant one round, they will agree. But some people still not agree. When you would offer the Vaishnavas, they would say, no, don't disturb us. We cannot do. Then what he would do, that is said here. How did he request them? He was keeping grass in between the teeth, which means a sign of humility. With folded palms, he begged them. He did not command them or demand them. Or he did not yell at them. He didn't tell them, all of you are demons, I am coming here to deliver you. He didn't speak like that. He actually begged them to chant. You can see, although Srila Prabhupada criticizes the atheistic modern world, he lived in the midst of the hippies, in the Gauri. How dangerous it is. One day morning, when Prabhupada was walking, actually Prabhupada was living in one room, which was given by one boy called David. So this was a hall like this. One side David would live, other side Prabhupada was living. There was a screen in between. And Prabhupada wrote to his God brothers in India, I will make this David the first Vaishnava of America. And I am training him now. But then the David started continuing to take again drugs. And he became degraded. And one morning, David came to Prabhupada's side and his eyes were like bloodshot. He was staring at Prabhupada. He was sort of deciding to kill him. The Prabhupada had to immediately get up and take his trunk with the typewriting machine, everything. He had to flee from there. He got off on the road. He didn't know whether to turn right or left because he had no other place to go. Then he went to one place of Mike and Jan. They were living there. Early morning he went and battered the door. They opened. Swamiji, so early in the morning you come here. Prabhupada said, I didn't know where to go. You are well known to me. That's why I came here. And then he told them that I walked through the street and came. And they told Prabhupada, it's very dangerous to walk on the road in the morning because many hippies are lying on the road. Some of them have guns in their hand. Suddenly, they will shoot also. Prabhupada was not even aware of the dangers. But being a pure devotee, Krishna protected him. So in this way you will see so much trouble Prabhupada took to propagate Krishna consciousness. You can see that. So he lived in the midst of them, he cooked for them, washed their plates. Once he brought a big bundle of clothes from India and all the hippies cut from that and they all wore different dresses in their bodies. You will see that. Prabhupada brought tilak for them. He taught everything, how to brush their teeth, how to take the bath, how to be clean, how to be Krishna conscious, how to chant the path. A to Z, everything he taught them. So in this way, Prabhupada living amongst them, just like Lord Shiva lives in one place, who knows where he lives generally? Kailash is his residence. Crematoria. Who said that? Correct. Lives in crematoria. Now, why will the most auspicious Shiva live in a place like a crematorium? Who can say? To deliver the ghosts. Give an applause for him. To deliver the ghosts and spirits. Every evening Shiva sits on a Nandi bull and carries all the ghosts and spirits with him. It's called Bhutanath. So the Bhutas think that, hey, he is having a jata like us and he is also having bhasma all over his body. He is wearing animal skin. So they foolishly think that he is also another ghost like us. But little do they know that he is a Parama Vaishnava. Has come to deliver them. Just like when hippies thought and Prabhupada came, they thought he is also another hippie. Later on they understood he is an Acharya. He has come to deliver us. So when Shiva takes the ghosts and spirits with him and goes, if any man, woman, any husband, wife, they unite during the day, then he punishes them by putting a ghost in the womb of the lady. Because there is a time for union, it is the midnight, late night, where one should give the seed. But in daytime they unite, they get a ghost. That is why some parents see that when the children grow up, they create so much headache for the parents. They say, I don't know which ghost has become my child, they say. So they get a punishment, but for the ghost it is a reward. Why is the reward for the ghost? He got a human body. So it's simultaneously reward for the ghost and punishment for the couple. So Shiva is also like the Srila Prabhupada living in Bavari. He lived in the Smashan like that. It's comparable. Both are Parama Vaishnavas, isn't it? So in this way, Jare Deke Tareka is Ranadori. He goes to homes with grass in his between the teeth and he falls at their feet and begs them, He tells them, chant the names of Gaurari and then you can purchase me. So he used to sing another song. Bhaja Gaurango, Kaha Gaurango, Bhaja Gaurange Naam Re, Bhaja Gaurango, Kaha Gaurange Naam Re, Jai Janana Ranga Bhaje, Jai Amara Pran Re, Jai Janana Ranga Bhaje, Jai Amara What is the meaning of this? If you chant Gauranga, and if you follow the order of Gauranga and chant Hare Krishna mantra, you will become very dear to me, you can purchase me. I am your slave. Like that you would tell the people. Like that. So in this way, when people still won't listen to him and chant, Nitai, what he would do? He would roll on the ground. Dhulake lotai. Seeing this golden bodied Nitai rolling on the ground and shedding tears, people would, their hearts would melt immediately and they would say, Nitai, Nitai, get up, I promise you today I am going to at least chant one round. This is how he preached it. So, when we are preaching, we should be humble, following in the footsteps of Nityananda. And then people will take us very seriously. So, I don't know how many of you heard about the story of Jagayamada deliverance. How many of you know? You all know that? Oh, very good. Many of you know. So, when Jagayamada was delivered, after that Lord Chaitanya called one day Nityananda Prabhu and said, Nitai, you are a greater preacher than me, he said. Why the Lord said that? Hare Prabhu Sunah Sripada Prabhu Sunah Sripada Yami Magitami Karaha Prasada Yami Magitami Karaha Prasada. Okay. Prativarsa Nilachale Tumina Asiva Prativarsa Nilachale Tumina Asiva Gaude Rahi More Icha Safala Kariva Gaude Rahi More Icha Safala Kariva. Don't come every year to Jagannath Puri for the Rath Yatra. You stay in Bengal and preach. Why? Because you are a better preacher than me. Like that Lord Chaitanya is going to tell him now. He will tell him now. He is saying here. कहाँ से दिखारे हैं ना अन्य ना देखिए कहाँ से दिखारे हैं ना अन्य ना देखिए हमारे दुष्कर कर्म तुम्हारे ते है हमारे दुष्कर कर्म तुम्हारे ते है. Then Mahaprabhu continued, you can perform a task that even I cannot do, but for you I cannot find anyone in Gaudadesh who can fulfill my mission there, he said. Now why he said like this, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives reasoning. See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's point was, when Jagayamada came, I brought my chakra to cut off the head of Jagayamada. Correct? Who brought the chakra? Chaitanya. So I am a chakra wielding preacher. Whereas you came in between me and Jagayamada and you didn't let me kill them. And then you accepted the hitting of Madai with the pot on your head and it was bleeding. But then you avoided Madai and Jagai. What did you avoid them? Love of God. So Marikhe Prem Diye. You heard that song? Doya Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nate Ramarama. Doya Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nate Ramarama. Nate Ramarama. Nate Ramarama. Nate Ramarama. Doya Gorani Jai. Doya Gorani Jai. Marikhe Prem Diye. Doya Gorani Jai. Very simple meaning. See, Doya Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nate. As soon as I think of Nitai and Chaitanya, my mind is dancing in ecstasy. You see, why is it dancing? The reason is, Doya to Nahi. Is there anyone in this world as merciful as Lord Nitai? Saying. And then what is the evidence for that? He's saying, Marikhaye Premabhiye. He accepted the hitting of Madai with the pot. And for that Madai, what he give him? What did he give him?
Prem.
Prem. So, that means the preacher should be, see, nobody, I don't think any of you will be hit by somebody, or beaten by somebody. Nobody will beat you. But they may beat you with their words, possible. If somebody insults you or beats you, still you should be able to give them love of God. Just like in India, there is one child specialist. So one day I saw the children when he is giving them injection, one child was slapping the doctor and kicking also. One small kid, you know. So later on I asked the doctor, how are you not angry? And he laughed and said, because I am child specialist, he said. He said, children, I know how they will behave when I am giving them injection or anything. I am used to this. But I know what I am doing for them is the best thing because I am treating them. It's for their good. Similarly, Nityananda Prabhu, you know, he is the Jagat Guru, he is called as Samashti Guru. The living entities may mistreat him foolishly, but he knows these naughty living entities need Krishna Prem. So, Marike Prem, he gives them love of God. So, all of us, when we are becoming preachers, we should be very, very tolerant. When Prabhupada was living in Juhu, in those early days, there was no help for him. So, one rich man told us, Swamiji, come in my car, I can drop you wherever you want to go. And Prabhupada said, thank you very much. So the backside was all filled with his load of luggage and everything. So he told Prabhupada to sit in the front. But when you would sit in the seat, between him and Prabhupada, there would be a big dog sitting. And they would be putting the tongue outside. Prabhupada was feeling a little uneasy, but he had to accept that facility. Because he was the one fellow daily used to drop Prabhupada to different places. Prabhupada just accepted. He didn't ask him, why are you keeping dog next to me? So he was very tolerant. When he came to America, he was living in the home of Agarwal, Gopal Agarwal and Sally Agarwal. So one day Prabhupada had kept a potato, tomato inside the fridge. When he opened the fridge, he saw in the same fridge fish was also kept. Meat was kept. And Prabhupada didn't say a word because he knew that I have no other accommodation in America. So wherever I am living, if I find fault with them, they will show their door. They will say, at last, isn't it? So I have to tolerate. So a preacher has to be very tolerant if you want to preach Krishna consciousness. You know, life is not a bed of roses. And when you try to become a preacher, there are going to be people who will create trouble. So in this way, Mahaprabhu said, Nityananda, you are a love-avoiding preacher. I am a chakra-wielding preacher. Who is better preacher? And for that, Nityananda Prabhu said, Nityananda kaheyami deha tumi prana.
Nityananda kaheyami deha tumi prana.
Deha prana bhinna nahi yehita pramana.
Deha prana bhinna nahi yehita pramana.
My dear Lord, I am body and you are my pran. So out of the two things, which is superior? Body or the pran? So your order is my pran. And that is why I am preaching. So if any good preaching happens through me, the credit should be given to you. Because without the soul, body cannot act. And any act is done, the credit is not given to body, it's given to the soul. So similarly, Nityananda Prabhu told him that, oh Lord, you are the life, I am just the body. There is no difference between the body and life itself, but life is more important than the body. He said. By your inconceivable energy, you can do whatever you like and whatever you make me do so. I do without restriction. Which means he said, I am simply preaching because you are giving me the strength. Like that he said. So you can see Nityananda Prabhu's mood. So we have to adopt this mood when we want to preach. So here I was telling the opposite example of Ramakrishna Sutta. He was a learned scholar, but he had no humility or sense control. So such people cannot preach. So we have to, that is why in the previous verse which we, here he said, he saw this. आपने आचार्य के है ना करे प्रचार प्रचार करे न के है ना करे नाचार Some people preach well, but they don't behave. So our behavior is compared to legs, and our preaching is compared to eyes. So you may have eyes to see, and you can go from place to place, but if legs are not there, how can you go? You cannot go. Similarly, if a preacher is very proud, nobody will want to hear from the preacher. No? They will say he's humble. No? They will say he's too proud. We don't want to listen to that fellow. No? He's arrogant fellow. We don't want. No matter, even if you're a big scholar, also people will say, okay, you may know a lot, but he's not humble devotee. So, therefore, preachers have to cultivate the good behavior. At the same time, they have to cultivate the Siddhantic knowledge also. When we are studying the Shastra, study well and preach well. We should be practicing preachers and preaching practitioners. Practicing preachers means we are not just speaking for the world, we are also going to live it. There was one speaker in a big Pandal program, he was telling that this Baingan is Begun, he was telling. Baingan means? Brinjal. He said this brinjal is so horrible, it's a tamaguni vegetable, nobody should eat, he was telling. His house was just next to the Pandal, his wife was also hearing the lecture in FM. He was also hearing the lecture. That lunchtime, many guests had come to his house, 2 dozen guests. So they were all being served by the wife. So he was also sitting. So the wife had made bangan fry. So she was giving everybody, and when the turn came to him, she didn't give him. So she was going to give the next person. He called his wife and said, hey, you are giving everybody, what about me? She said, I heard in your provision, you said one should not eat bangan fry. I thought you don't like it. He said, that is provision ka bangan. Some people talk very great things. By talking to people, they talk big things, but in practical life, they will not follow. Once people identify that this fellow is a big talker and doesn't follow, then nobody will want to, not to follow us. Like in IIT, when I was studying, I was living in a hostel where I told the boys that everybody should sleep early and rise early in the morning. And 4 o'clock, we will be living to another hostel where 25-30 of us used to stand together on the terrace. We all, Doran Prabhu, me and all of us used to go out. So sometime in the night I have to do some laboratory work, it will become 11 o'clock for me sometimes, occasionally. So one of the days it became 11 and I was still sleeping in my room till 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock the boys would get ready and come. 4:15 we would go for chanting to another hospital. So some young boys whom I was taking care of, they came and battered the door. Opened the door and said, you told us to get up, we have gotten up. So we are ready now, can we go now? They said, I'm sorry, but quickly I'll come now. I immediately go and take a throw bath and come back. Throw bath means quick bath, take a shower and come back, then we'll go. So, one lesson I learned, between preaching and behavior, there's a dynamic tension. What is the dynamic tension? How many of you have experienced, you tell others what they should be doing, sometimes you struggle yourself in doing it. Experience? Yeah. That is why we should be preachers. Yeah. Why we should be preachers? One boy here came to America to study. I told him to start preaching. He preached and brought about 8 to 10 boys. And they all stayed in the room. And those boys got up early in the morning and they would attend Mangalat. But this boy would get up at 6 o'clock. So those inmates started asking, the residents started asking him, hey, you brought us, you taught us, why are you not getting? Everybody started pestering him very much. Then he left all of them and left the room and went to another independent apartment. And then he wrote a letter to me saying that, Prabhu, I prefer only book distribution and not preaching. I asked, suddenly why you changed your mind? He said, see, once you distribute books, people take book and go away. They don't trouble us. If you preach and bring them, if you preach and bring them and make them stay with you, they are looking at you top to bottom. Most things are caught than taught. See, many children, many parents tell them do this, do that. They will not listen to what the parents are telling. They will only do what parents are doing. In our Pune temple, we have a kutia, one cottage, where the children have a separate class. So one mother and father came to drop their small kid. And they said, better you be here, you just go around and come back and pick up. And child immediately said, I know where you are going. You are going to movie, isn't it? Then the father said, okay, but yes, we are going to movie. You study here, we will come back. But the child said, see, in Pune temple there are two cottages. In one cottage, children class goes on, other cottage for parents program goes on. Child said, you should attend that class, I will attend this class. But then the father said, see, you cannot come to movie because only those who have mustache, only they are allowed in movie. He said. Then the child said, okay, Papa, you go, but mom has to stay. She has no mustache. I was thinking, children also very intelligent, you can't cheat them. Many parents want their children to learn, good values and everything, but they don't want to learn. Correct, no? So that will not work. Parents should agree that we also will attend classes and we will become devotees. Then you can expect child to be like Prahlad. No? Otherwise, generally, if you expect that children have to be devotees and we don't care about devotion service, if you don't give them a good ambience at home, it's very difficult for them to maintain. Like some parents eat meat, for example, and the children don't want to eat meat because they have learned in the classes. And they find it very difficult to live in a home where they are fed with meat and everything. So, therefore, whether you are parents, whether you are preachers, we have to always take a look at what we are. If you are pointing fingers to somebody, the fingers are towards us. You should always remember that. It's very easy to tell others, you are not doing this, you are not doing that. What about us? We should ask ourselves. That's what this verse says. Radheshyamdas was a very good practitioner, very good preacher, so he won the heart of all the devotees. Like some of us, sometimes in the name of preaching and book distribution, sometimes our rounds may remain in the night sometimes. We went to office, and we come back and we look at 10 o'clock, we find that 6 rounds are remaining or 4 rounds are remaining. That's like climbing a mountain. Hare Krishna, Mala will fall off. And it collapse. Isn't it? So, therefore one should finish the rounds in the morning itself and complete the rounds. And in this way, in our chanting, some people in the name of preaching, they don't study at all. If we don't study, then if I don't have money in the pocket, what can I give others? We have to study nicely also. So, one thing becomes clear, we all need discipline. In Janma Sarthaka Kori, Kara, take in and give out. That is the method Lord Chaitanya taught us. So, your project, as I told you, is in a blossoming stage. So you can adopt the mood of Sri Prabhupada, adopt the mood of Nityananda Prabhu, and go door to door in Richmond to people's homes, and then preach to them, distribute the books to them. I heard about the outreach program, very interesting. Every month many people are invited for their birthday and other things. Bhakti Vrikshas are also happening now. Book distribution is happening. So it's in the right direction. You just have to scale up the activities, increase activities. If each of you, as per your time availability and capacity, come forward to contribute in this way, your part of your time, part of your energy, in either distributing books or preaching. So we also have a very good college in the neighborhood. What is the college?
VCU.
Virginia?
Commonwealth.
University. So 18,000 students are there. So it's a very great scope and opportunity for preaching. So if any of you is interested, yes, I would like to preach to the youth of the college. Just put a word to Prabhuji Divena Prabhu, and we will include you in our, we are very soon forming a preacher sangha. So the preacher sangha has about 6 or 7 devotees now. We are going to include more devotees to that. You can also be a part of it, and we will be having WhatsApp group and discussing many things on how to preach effectively and bring more and more people. You can be a part of it, and in this way, book distribution and preaching are two very vital activities Prabhupada instituted in this society. That's how Prabhupada would ask how many temples are open, how many new devotees are made, how many books are distributed. He would always ask. And life would be dynamic, it would be very enthusiastic. We won't become stagnated. It would be a growing movement. Father, for his part, Devananda Prabhu and his good wife and children, this wonderful family has been a good example, role model example for all of you. And they have brought it to the point of purchasing a land now. So, which means there is abundant scope for all of you to grow this project and do something very wonderful. So I pray that it flourishes more and more. And just as we discussed today on the missionary spirit of reaching out, all acharyas have shown this missionary spirit. Ramanacharya climbed at the top of one Gopuram and announced the mantra. You know that? Thousand people he called and announced it. Similarly, Jesus is another very famous personality for missionary preaching vigorously. And similarly, Vasudevdatta, who was he prayed to Lord Chaitanya that may all the jivas give their karmic reactions to me and let them go back to Godhead. He prayed like that. Prahlad Maharaj said, I don't want to go to Himalayas and alone get moksha. I want to see everybody in this world delivered and finally I will also come back. Like that he said. All acharyas. Srila Prabhupada, needless to say, Prabhupada acted and showed us by his own example. So here in Richmond, yesterday I was telling Richmond, the name itself has got the rich. So, but the complete meaning of richness means one who carries Krishna in his heart. Only that devotee has true richness. One last example I will give and conclude my talk, which Prabhupada gives in Bhagavad Gita purport. He says, the jiva is like a ring, gold ring. And on the top of the gold ring, there is the Neelamani. If you stud it, you see that sometimes they have a money, Neelamani. So the Neelamani on the top of the gold ring looks very elegant. But if you remove that Neelamani, the gold ring will have a depression. You have seen that? Similarly, a jiva who carries Neelamani like Krishna in their hearts, they are always beautiful, elegant to look at. But if they forget Krishna, then they will have depression. That is why the modern day society is subjected to so much depression. You can see the moroseness and depression. But if you have the Lord in your heart, then you are always happy and cheerful. So you can be cheerful and you can spread cheerfulness to the whole world. Prabhupada was asked by a reporter, what is the goal of your ISKCON? Prabhupada said to spread happiness. To make the jivas happy in relation to Krishna. Otherwise, people are suffering unnecessarily, foolishly. So let us make the world a happy world with devotees becoming all devotees of Krishna. And what will start in Richmond can also expand to many other outskirts of Richmond also in future. If you all do it in a big way. For making it all big, you have to be committed devotee, come every week to the classes and then ask Nivana Prabhu what more service you can take, how you can contribute your lot of time and energy to this cause. Thank you.